Greetings there, blade fans. OG Blade Reviews back with you once again. And I'm sorry, I have to start off this video by saying I'm sorry. The knife you see before you on the table, as of this date in August, you cannot buy. Sorry, folks, you may really like it because it's a Dirk Pinkerton design and it's a prototype. Thank you, Dirk, for sending this along and trusting me with a very preliminary review of the Standoff, a new knife design that will come out in 2025. You're all now quitting the video and going to watch another video that shows knives you can buy. But you may find this interesting because eventually it's going to come out. I don't believe Dirk has settled on an OEM to build this knife yet, and I'm not 100% sure, so I won't say who built this particular prototype. Let's try that all over again. There we go. A little on the stiff side, and I'm going to try zooming back a little so you can get a full view. So the Standoff is a traditional Wharnecliff style blade. And if you look up Wharnecliff and Lord Wharnecliff and so forth and the genesis of this interesting design, it looks just about like that. Now, if it came up here and dropped more quickly, you call it a sheep's foot. And then I've even seen like lamb's foot and, designations like that. A lot of them are older designations from the far distant past. But this is in the wheelhouse that Dirk likes, which is Wharncliffe style blades. I'm going to show you a bunch in a few moments, and you'll be able to see how those stack up against this. So with this style blade, we have excellent slashing ability with that tip. We have useful EDC ability with both the straight edge as well as the point. Got a very decent, it would appear, plunge grind and sharpening choil there. You may or may not agree. I know there's big discussions on plunge grinds, and really people get into the nitty gritty about plunge grinds, but I'm not going to. I sharpen my knives as needed. There aren't too many knives where I go crazy sharpening it a lot. Simply because I rotate knives, and I guess I'm fortunate in that regard that I have a number of knives I can rotate through my EDC. This will be one of them. The clip works quite well. It is not quite a deep carry titanium clip. The entire knife is titanium in frame. It's a frame lock, hardened steel insert. You may guess that this was either a concept or an artisan manufacturer. I believe it could be right on either note. But unless Dirk chimes in and gives up that info, I'm not going to speculate further. We do know, based on that little lettering there, that this is an S90V. And the final production knife may very well also be an S90V, or you may see some versions in a more budgety steel, depending upon the popularity. Now, this knife comes very close to another design by Dirk, and I'm going to show you that right now. Now, I thought I did have a copy of this knife around, but I'll have to show you a photograph instead. This is the Beyond EDC Pinkerton Slim. Look at the similarity. We've got pretty much the same blade, maybe a little bit longer drop there than on the Slim, and a handle more stick-like and kind of neutral there than we do here. So we've got a little more, and I'm not sure you can still get the Slim, but if you like the style of knife, you can check Beyond EDC out. We've got the typical chamfering here that you'll see on some of the other Pinkerton style knives that I'm going to show you in a few for compare. Got that chamfering with the flat there. That's very much a Dirk signature handle profile. We have the addition of the fuller. Now, one thing that Dirk did say is that there's going to be a major revision with the fuller. The fuller he had intended should have a flat bottom and sharp shoulders so that it can be opened with a reverse finger flick. And you cannot do that on this one at all, period, end of story. Maybe if you have some very grippy fingers you can, but this has enough of a detent, but very good jimping, very aggressive jimping, that you can easily backflip it. Got some excellent jimping on the spine of the blade, really nice, really grabby. And we have the signature Dirk Pinkerton jimping on the liners. Now, this doesn't have liners, it's basically a frame. So milled right into the frame, you see these inside jimps. And you'll see that on knives like the Main Street and many others, the Ruffian, and that is a Dirk signature. Oh God, sorry, Dirk. That's a Dirk Pinkerton signature jimping, and it definitely does work. You can put your finger back here, your thumb, and it isn't going to slide at all. So, given all of this, let's do some quick measurements. It's not a small knife. Those of you that like full-size knives, this is going to be right there in your ballpark. I'd say about an 8.3 inch overall. And right to the handle, about a 3.65 with a sharpened edge of 3.5. Blade stock in millimeters, 3.1. Blade stock in inches, 0.1. And right to the fullness of the handle, only 0.44. Do I have that right? Yeah, 0.44. Now, it's a little silly, perhaps, doing measurements and specs on a knife that will likely be changed somewhat in final production form, but let's do it anyway, because that's what we do here. 4 ounces. Very nice. So, we're coming up on the ounce per inch deal. As I said, action on this particular one, and you really can't go by it because, again, we're talking a prototype. It's just a little bit stiff. It's on bearings. Tried loosening it up. This one's got double pivots. It will turn. I should say double screws. So it's a T8 that I validated. And let's move into some of the compares, shall we? Well, lucky you guys. As it turns out, during the extended video break that seemed like a second to you, I found, yes, the Beyond EDC Slim. The one that I was saying was so much like the Standoff. And isn't it? There is the blade a little bit longer, closer to 4 inches. This outstanding knife may still be available at Beyond EDC. If I can find the link and it is available, I'll let you know. Otherwise, you may need to do your own page churning on the internet to find out where you can pick one up. It's a budget knife, not very much money, and just a crazy smooth drop shut action on this liner locking version of the Standoff. Or is the Standoff a version of the Slim? I guess we'll find out, but you can see the difference in handle configuration for sure. Let's put another Wharnecliff style knife out from Beyond EDC also. It's more of a what you call a clip point or reverse tanto perhaps, with an up angled edge. This is the Contact by Beyond EDC. This one Dirk furnished also as a prototype, but again, these may still be available at Beyond EDC. It seems as though Beyond EDC has rolled back its production somewhat. I don't know if they're still going to remain viable. That's been a question mark. And some scuttlebutt I've heard here and there, but nothing conclusive. But another Pinkerton design, you can see how he loves either the Wharnecliff or the reverse Tonto type of blade. This one, I believe, is called the Ruffian by CJRB. Could be wrong. I think it's the Ruffian. You can see the same blade geometry here as on here. Slide them all up just a bit so we can get them all in the picture. Again, you're beginning to see the design language of Dirk Pinkerton here. Couple of recent ones, and well, let me bring this out first. So this I did a review on that should be popping any day now, is the Anomaly. However, this is the fancier version in titanium and S35VN, I believe. But Tenable, which is Concept's budget line, just came out with a budget version of this. And you should be seeing my review shortly before this review drops. Another recently reviewed, the Banjara by Artisan Coloring. And I'm going to need to back out. No problem. There we go. Banjara, also a fairly large knife with a kind of an upswept Persian style blade. And lastly, the Kami, K-A-M-I, another knife by Artisan, and a whole different design by Dirk. So let's remove a few blades here and keep the larger ones out for compare. This is a great knife, by the way, if you can get a hold of it. Once again, there you see Dirk's edge jimping, but this time on the outer edge of the handles rather than on the inner edge of the handles. Not sure you can see that. Yeah, there it is. Fairly light knife here, by the way, for the size of it. And I'm going to keep these out on the table. So here you can see a compare for size. So if we take a straight edge and go to the shortest one here, the Banjara, you can see that the Kami is a little longer. The Slim is considerably longer, and the Standoff is just ever so slightly longer than the Banjara. By the way, Nathan Contra, K Nathan 88 Knives, I think. K Nathan Knives 88 did a great mod on this one. You should check it out on his channel on Instagram. So here's the big ones. And try to get them lined up so that we've got the pommels in line. Hard when you got different contours to those pommels. But there you go. So pretty much all in the same length overall, with the blades pretty much the same. The Kami being the largest one. This is available through Artisan Cutlery. So is the Banjara through Artisan Cutlery. Great Dirk Pinkerton designs, just fabulous. Can't believe how light this is and how slim it is. Kind of taking from the Slim somewhat, but it's slimmer than the Slim by a scale thickness. Look at that. Look for this knife in 2025. Check posts by Dirk Pinkerton on Instagram. He's got one up now talking about this. And I'll leave you some links, largely to Dirk's Instagram channel and also to his website. He sells many of these knives on his own on his website. So there we have the standoff, a prototype S90V in titanium, fairly soon, within a half year or so, to become hopefully a reality. Be well, take care, and don't forget to like this video, and you'll see a link to subscribe right over here, right about now. Take care.